much back to school time.
Mid-July. Did you take your summer vacation yet?
Not yet. That'll be next week.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm going to Kentucky.
Okay. Well, I can understand. This is Pennsylvania, so
Yeah.
Kentucky's not that far away.
Yeah, I got to get the pure stuff.
What are you going down there for?
My girlfriend's family was down there, so we're going to visit them for a week.
A little meet and greet. Your first time meeting them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. You need a backpack?
Do I need a backpack?
Well, yeah, they might. They might not allow you to stay at the house. You might have to sleep out in the yard or on the porch or something like
I'll
that.
have to pay attention to see what happens next.
Yeah, okay, because backpacks are what we're going to be talking about in this portion of the program. I think you're familiar with the group in here, at least some of them, because I think you did this show last year when it was their first time for the Back to School Bash.
I might have been, yes. But
Okay.
Either way, I'm familiar with some of the names in the room.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll get you a backpack if you need one.
All right, Mike, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Welcome to Live Mike with Mike Romai, presented by Heritage Valley Health System, the show that talks about what's happening in Beaver County, along with news and weather with Curtis Walsh, and sports with Matt Durzick. And now, here is the host of the show, Mike Romai.
And, I never liked going to school in the first place, but I always dreaded back to school time. Although you got nice clothes, you got new clothes, at least for the first couple of weeks of the year, and your number 2 pencils and erasers, and that was in the old days. Now they don't have that anymore. It's more expensive to go back to school, and that's why we are honored to have the folks in the studio today from the Back to School Bash taking place in Beaver Falls, and Keith Smith. You are the organizer of this whole thing, so let me bring you up first, right?
Yeah. My name is Keith Smith. I'm actually the CEO and founder of my youth program called CORE. I was able to partner with these great people next to me, the Shea Foundation in the city of Beaver Falls, to actually put this together.
What does CORE stand for?
CORE stands for Community Outreach Entertainment.
Okay.
I plan on being the center and core of each community. God has given me a vision to be out here and do what I do with the youth and try to just do what people did for me growing up.
This group that you have here today, they're a group of singers? Because I heard them warming up earlier.
We are multi-talented over here, multi-talented.
Well, they were in harmony, I'm telling you. I was going to turn the mics on just because it sounded so good over there. Who do you have with you today?
Here with me, I have Shay Anderson. I also have Monique Anderson and also Rochelle from the city of Beaver Falls.
Okay, no Anderson. These two Andersons and no. All right. This is the second one?
This is our second annual Back to School Bash, correct?
Okay. What is it all about?
It's all about the community. It's all about the kids. We're all about just letting the community know that we're here for them. They have someone to lean on and count on.
Okay. And do you kind of think that's lost in terms of, we all know, it's tough to go back to school. It's expensive to go back to school, prices going out, out the roof and everything else. So, if you're going into school and you don't have the supplies that you need, that just, kind of hurts your self-esteem a little bit. You're looking around you and you see other kids and they got all these nice, laptops and all this stuff, and you couldn't afford it.
Absolutely. With this group that I have with me, this Back to School Bash is just one piece to the puzzle. We're putting together a major component for the city of Beaver Falls just to let them know that we're here for them. God gave us a vision, and you know what? We're just trying to fulfill His dream for us.
Mm-hmm. Let's move it on to Rochelle. Rochelle, you've been doing excellent work in Beaver Falls. Been following the progress since you're the head of the CDC.
I'm the director of the Community Development, Department of Community Development for the city of Beaver Falls.
Yeah, and a lot of things have been happening. A lot of grants and fundraising efforts taking place. Old playgrounds that I remember being able to play on 100 years ago no longer exist, but you've been renovating a lot of those things over the past couple of years.
Yep, that's right. I have to give credit to, of course, the team I work with at the city, our Dr. Mayor Kenya Johns, council, and our city manager Mick Jones, city clerk Paula Durish. And we have several community groups, such as the Rui Playground Committee, who has been heading up that effort to get that playground back up and running. You mentioned how for the back to school bash, it's important to have because prices have gone so high. Another reason we are so supportive of this event and want to be a part of it is because we hear so much from people in Beaver Falls. Do something for the kids. Think about the kids. If the kids need stuff. And so we want to show the kids that we're tracking with you. You know, when school let out, Rui committee was there and said, hey, here's an out-of-school bash. We see you. We're tracking with you. We had some events over the summer. Juneteenth happened. Other things are still happening. And so when August comes, we want to tell the kids, hey, we see you. We're tracking with you still. Here's a back-to-school bash.
Are you seeing the fruits of your labor in terms of what's going on with the kids, a more positive attitude?
You know, I don't work too closely with the kids these days, but I do see the ones on my own block. And I know that there's things for them to do. People are seeing them. They do have playgrounds to go to, events to attend, and so I'll say yes, absolutely.
Yeah, all together in the city of Beaver Falls. And back to school bash, let's talk about that, Shay, and how your organization got involved with it. That's all right. You can use both of them. Okay. We're in stereo. Go ahead.
Okay, so Shay actually stands for Spreading Hope Amongst Youth. And kind of our mission is to make sure that the kids are supported. And my mom actually started the organization with the idea. She grew up in Laredo, struggling. My grandparents struggle with addiction, so to help kids that are in that situation, specifically to know that maybe you're not getting what you need at home, but there's someone out here that cares about you and to help you. Mm-hmm.
And so it's, Keith, as you were saying, as far as your core organization is concerned, basically focused on some of the same things.
Absolutely.
It's youth empowerment.
Absolutely.
And trying to get these kids to find a direction and not just to get lost on the streets.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and me and Monique, we kind of have a similar story. You know, we grew up in poverty. We grew up with our parents being addicted. And I just try to do what was done for me growing up. You know, I had people who stepped into my lives back in Pittsburgh. Shout out to the Hosanna House. You know, I had a lot of male role models step into my life and give me a vision and give me hope and give me strength. You know, so I just try to be that for these kids nowadays.
What is that like? And Monique, I want to introduce you as well, come into the conversation. What is that like when you grow up in that environment, and how do you break away from it? Because these are your role models that you're watching, and the drug addiction that goes along with it. How do you separate and become, a citizen, a responsible citizen?
For me, I had a lot of people, like Keith was saying, pouring into my life. One family in particular, Pastor Gene Williams and his wife, Valerie Williams, who moved to North Carolina, but still have a lot of contact with them. Those people, and surrounding myself with core people, my friends, my best friends also grew up in Laredo with me, and just making sure we fed into each other and supporting one another. This is not what we have to be, but we can come out of this and make sure we give back to our community. There were so many great things that happened in Laredo for us as kids. They had the Tenant Association there, so took us on different trips, just showing us different things. Geneva College would come in and do summer programs. So there was a lot that I seen, even though the environment wasn't always positive. But for me, I wanted so much more. And it wasn't just me, but that was truly God saying that this is what it is around you, but I'm going to pull you out of this and you're going to give back to your community. So that's a big thing for me. My faith walk is absolutely a big thing. As a child, you know, there was a bus, Savannah Hills, that came to Laredo to pick up us kids. So there was just so many positive adults surrounding me, regardless of what was going on. And like my daughter talked about, you know, my parents, yes, they were addicted, but I also had aunts and uncles that weren't, that came in, stepped in to make sure I had things that I needed. And growing up, you know, my parents did give me that initial foundation where they weren't addicted. And it was my 8th grade year where drugs hit hard. Crack cocaine was big on the scene. So I had so many people that said, I had to pay for your college, you know, college credits. Why wouldn't I give back to that? Why wouldn't I make some child knows that this may be what you're going through. This is just your testimony. It does not have to be your end story.
Mm-hmm. Eugene Williams.
Yes.
I knew Eugene well. 25 years ago, he was laying the groundwork for a lot of this stuff. His church on 7th Avenue, and had many conversations with Gene over the years. I'm glad to hear he's doing well down in North Carolina.
Yes.
Do you ever get back up this way much?
He does. He still comes to visit his family. His niece Carmen is up here. We're good friends, so get to have that interaction with them. And we're hoping to go and see them within the next year, just to go visit them. So
Wonderful. So the back to school effort, August 18th is when it is. How do you reach the kids? Because back in the day, you might have had one parent working. Now you have single parent households, and that person has to work all the time. Or if you have two parent households, taxes and cost of living and everything else that goes along with it, a lot of time there's nobody home watching the kids. You got to get through to them. Religion plays a vital role in all this.
So yeah, my youth program is actually held at Ashes to Life over on 4th Avenue in Beaver Falls. Shout out to Pastor Mark and his team who gave me the opportunity to actually start my program there. So I actually reached out to a lot of the kids there, and then I have no problem with walking the neighborhoods like I usually do along with my team. We're going to do any and everything possible to make sure we're heard, we're seen, and the kids know exactly what's going on and what we plan on doing for them.
Where's your place on 4th Avenue?
It's over on what is that cross street, Rochelle?
6th Avenue?
Yeah,
Where the
4th and
church is?
6th. Yeah, it's called Ashes to Life Church. So
Okay.
we're actually held in their gymnasium. That's actually where the back to school bash will be held at as well. We have 2 blocks this year.
Okay, very good. Because I know there's a lot of, there's a funeral home that used to be a funeral home that's now a church. There are a number of other places in town that used to be, I guess, bigger religious organizations that their constituents died off, got old, don't go to church anymore. That have become places like this, foundations for people, and those buildings have been put to very good use over the years.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I am a believer. Don't get me wrong. I do believe in Jesus Christ. However, my program is not religion based. I am very spiritual. But I try not to be that individual that push religion on the kids so early upon their young lives. I try to let them make their own choices.
Yeah. What are you trying to get from the community for this back to school bash?
Support, understanding, participation, to just know that we're here for you guys, to know where to come if you need help. It's going to be a blowout. Last year we did a great job. We put it together in about 3.5 weeks. This year we've been working extremely hard. We have some major surprises. It's going to be set up carnival style. Everything is absolutely free to the community. It's going to be going on for about 5 hours. Right after the back to school bash, we'll transition into a movie night. So make sure you guys bring a lawn chair. We already got the popcorn for you.
That sounds good. Between 10th and 11th Street, that area there, Rochelle?
It's between, what would that be, 4th Avenue, between 6th and Pine.
Okay.
Behind
all right.
Ashes
in that
to
area?
Life.
Okay. Very good. And so what do you need? Because you got backpacks to fill. What can the community do?
I'm gonna let Miss Monique answer that one.
So for our backpacks, we try to just make sure everything is in the backpack that a child would need to start school, and kind of taking that relief off of the teachers, because we know a lot of times they're going into their own pockets to make sure these kids have what they need. So everything from crayons, pencils, pens, notebook papers, folders, all of scissors, pencil sharpeners. Like, we want to make sure these kids are ready to go, and taking that burden off of, I don't have this, so I am struggling to learn. And we're definitely taking cash donations. And one of the big things, you had asked Rochelle about the kids and if we're seeing the fruits of our labor. Last year, one of the moms that we worked with said that was the first year that her kids were able to get school clothes and school supplies. So that was just like a home hitter, like, yeah, we're on the right track and making sure our kids know. And her kids were in high school and middle school. So to know that as a single mom raising my daughter, that wasn't something that I thought about because community and my family came along to do that. But knowing that we are making sure these kids are well supplied and they can go to school and do what they need to do like every other child, I will not stop working with this team. This team is amazing, and just we all have that same goal in mind of making sure these kids can go and learn and do what they need to do. And I love that, Rochelle came from the school, so she was seeing that and now being able to get back and making sure these kids are having what they need.
Yeah. Rochelle, when you took over go ahead, Keith, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When you took over the position as director, did you have a vision of what you saw? Because you were in the community before your status here. Did you see things that you thought we got to change that? This can be different. This doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me give credit first to my predecessor in the role, Bethany Williams, who did great work for many years. When she was in the position, it was a severely part-time role, and she, of course, worked over and beyond those hours. But when they prepared to hire me, it became a full-time role for the first time. And so in that way, it was kind of a new scene. There was greater opportunity to mold the role into what the city needs it to be. And so in that way, there was a new vision. But on the other hand, I wanted to continue the work that was already being done, largely by way of being a liaison between the public and the city, listening to the people of Beaver Falls and communicating their desires and hopes and dreams to the city, and vice versa, communicating what the city plans to do, what we need community input on to the people.
And we talked a little bit earlier about the parks and the playgrounds that you're renovating and looking forward to it, but also blighted buildings, dilapidated buildings. There's been a lot of progress being made to take down some of the, not definitely eyesores, but hazardous buildings and places where no good can possibly come of them. So y'all have been very successful in that at this point in time. I just saw Bridge Street that sold a couple buildings down there, which was at one time a nice community, but a lot of decay and dilapidation over the course of a couple decades have brought it down. So the success is there. Is there any one thing that you can point to and say, yeah, we got that done?
I'd have to say with the Falls Park, even though there's still yet things on the way, that is a great accomplishment that we all at the city feel very proud of, and is looking great and will continue to look even better.
And you've had a couple concerts there already.
Yes, we have. We had a Hopewell Big Band there last Friday, and more events coming up.
Yeah, very good. When is the fall sign coming back?
I'd say keep your eyes peeled just in the next couple weeks. I'll say that much.
You brought it up, so I'd ask, when is that fall sign coming back? Very good.
We're all eager.
Yeah, yes. Keith, now tell us about, again, what we need to know. It's August 18th. It's the time is 5 p.m. to...
Correct. It's August 18th. The time for the festival is 5 to 7:30, in which will be set up carnival style. So we'll have a bunch of games going on. We'll have a bunch of competitions like tug of war, 7 basketball games. We'll have snow cones, cotton candy, popcorn, hamburgers, hot dogs, fruit. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Corvette Club. They'll be there. We'll have a bounce house. We have some major surprises for you guys this year. And then after about 8 o'clock, we'll transition into the movie night. And we'll be movie on the lawn. So like I said, make sure you guys bring your covers, your chairs, get comfortable. We have a great movie that we're going to show for you guys. And it's just going to be a great time.
All right. Once again, when I say what do you need, there are businesses in the community, grocery stores, people like that. What do you need donated?
Absolutely. We are in need of food, hamburgers, hot dogs, hamburger buns, hot dog buns. We are in need of, like Shay was saying and Monique was saying, we are in need of all school supplies. If you guys would like to donate anything far as like prizes, because we are doing carnival games, so any prize games, We are in the need of hygiene products. If you guys want to donate any hygiene products, any old clothes you may have that you want to donate to us, any and everything. I don't like to really put expectations on what a person can donate, but any and everything you feel as if you would like to help out with, we are welcomed and we appreciate it.
A couple guys around here that could use those hygiene products as well, but we won't go into that. And so how can they get a hold of you? How can they touch base and say?
They can reach out to me and actually Monique. I could be reached at area code 412-519-8831, or you can email me at Smith, S-M-I-T-H, Keith, K-E-I-T-H, 22721 at yahoo.com.
All right. Shay, you wanted to say?
Yes, and then if you have any monetary donations, we can receive those through Cash App at Shea Foundation, as well as school supplies. We can be reached at 724-506-8264. And I'd also like to thank Terry Bailey, who couldn't be here with us today, from Fashion Revival.
Okay.
I just wanted to give her thanks.
Yeah, I see some of the names. Core, which Keith, you said is your city of Beaver Falls, which Rochelle is here representing. Shay is here, and Fashion Revival on the top of that list. Monique, you have something else?
Yes, just a little bit about Fashion Revival. So we've been doing the Back to School Bash with the group here for this is our second. Shea Foundation and Fashion Revival, this is our 4th year of working together to do the Back to School book bags. So Terry is not from our community, but has made it a point that she wants to make sure our community is being taken care of and giving back, because she does have a store there.
I do.
So I'm glad that Shay did bring her up and just giving her a shout out, because she is big in our community.
Right beside McDonald's.
Yes.
Right there. Yeah, she has a nice store. Seen it before. Let me see, what else did we not cover at this point in time? Anything else?
One thing, Mike, I want to throw out there is one of the things that I think me and my team have in common is my mom used to tell me a phrase when I was little, and she said, "Keith, I'm just your parent." She said, "But it takes a community to raise a child." And that is one thing that I hold on to. And a lot of people ask me, why do I do what I do? And to be exact, that's it in a nutshell. It takes a community to raise a child. Mom and dad can give you so much, but sometimes it takes a community. Sometimes it takes someone just to be there for you, or even just to listen to you and let you know that they're there for you, that'll help point you in the right direction and make sure you stay on track. And I think that's one thing me and my team, we definitely have in common.
Keith, Rochelle, Shay, Monique, thank you all for being here. Continued success with everything you do and bringing the Beaver Falls community together. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
August
Thanks for having
18th.
us. Thank you.
Hopefully that, and backpacks. I didn't even say, where do you get the backpacks from? Do they have to be donated?
They can be donated, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We would love that.
Like places like Walmart and Target, you know, they got backlogs of things like that they can donate.
They do.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you all for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
We appreciate you.
Another successful years and many more years to come. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank
All right.
you.
Matt Durzik is next with the news.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.